What's up? What's up, everybody? It's Friday night. It's 9 o'clock, and it is time for From the Forum, your Q&A show brought to you by FantasySportsAdvice.com. And let me tell you, I got a crew in the house tonight. If you didn't know, you will find out here shortly. But what a week, fellas. What a freaking week. You know, you in week 7, you get the highlights of Puka can be back. Oh, Cooper Kupp can be back. But then you also get the Buccaneers are a barren wasteland for wide and you get Deshaun Watson's Achilles literally popping on camera. What the heck is going on this year?
100%.
Tell me, what is it? What's in
the fact that I burnt through an entire box of tissues Wednesday, just having to go through that thought process of hey, we're halfway through the regular season of the fantasy football league. Damn, it's already at that point. We spent all this time gearing up, and I still don't quite know what's going on, and we are halfway through it. It's wild.
Yeah, and then you feel like you've been on you've everybody's just felt like they've been on tilt since week 3. So it's just. Everybody, we're gonna get this together. Don't worry. These injuries won't cost me the season. No, not at all.
I think the 1% elitist of the fantasy football landscape are the people who have healthy rosters right now.
100%.
And it's so funny. The players that there were some players that got some pretty bad raps going into the season. Derrick Henry going to the Ravens. They're oh, he's old. He's washed up. He's slow. And then here we are. King Henry has emerged again. It's just been a wild season full of ups and downs and super pumped. So, again, this is From the Forum, sponsored by FantasySportsAdvice.com, and I've got a crew in the house. If you guys would, just real quick, introduce yourself to the viewers. Let them know who you are, where you create, so that they can connect with your content. And start us off, Brian.
Yeah, I'm Brian, at @too_much_Brian on Twitter. My stuff, it's all here. The Fantasy Football Advice Network. You're looking for too much best ball, too much fantasy football, and, off-season, too much movie night. Got to give that a shameless plug as well. Looking for a little fun outside of football. There it is.
Love that. I'm Ronnie Evans. You can find me on Twitter at Ronnie A. Evans or at Good Guy AI. I work with Trophy Smack. So if you're interacting with Trophy Smack, that's probably me, actually, that you're interacting with. So, hey. And then doing some AI projects for them and elsewhere as well with Good Guy AI, working with the Sports Affiliate, Good Iron Ratings, and a couple other things that I'll keep under wraps for now. But I'm always around, so hit me up.
All over the place.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ross Mongrue. I'm with SAMSPORTS. We are an up-and-coming new fantasy football platform. I also put my own stuff out here on the Fantasy Advice Network, so you can find me on here as well.
Sweet. Well, Ross, I have to say, as a SAMSPORTS player myself and taunting a nice 7-0 record, I'm really enjoying the platform.
Knew he was going to do it.
Really enjoying the platform. No, it's so cool, and I'm just going to brag on SAMSPORTS for a second because as a player of fantasy, as somebody that played Madden with as a kid, I always wanted to play as a GM. I would literally build my team. I would sim all the games, and I would just do season over season and just see if I could build a champion.
Doesn't everybody do that? Wait,
I don't know, but I did it a lot. I did it more.
Is there anything else you can do on it?
Right. I thought that was
not anymore.
So anyways, loving it. I've got a pretty good team. Been building it up. I was a little worried by not going quarterback in the beginning, like a lot of other teams did. I was like, oh no, I missed the boat. But yeah, fun. If you're looking for a GM simulation to play fantasy that takes into salary cap, full rosters, including offensive line, killer fun way to play fantasy football. We got people popping in the chat already. Let's get this party started. Let's see. Let's go over on Twitch. Sup, everyone. Albert, I appreciate you always tuning in. You're the real
Every
OG.
show.
Every show. Nino Pena dropping in. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. Ooh, let me go back. Brent Bradford coming in. This show is a bomb. Appreciate you. How we feeling about Nuck? Is he a season winner? Been stashing him all season with high hopes. What do you guys think? I mean, obviously that's a big deal. Mahomes hasn't had a big catcher of the football. You know, DeAndre Hopkins, big hands, can catch in traffic. Hasn't really had that. He's had the streakers, right? Or like the set down in the pockets like Rashee Rice, but he hasn't had somebody that could like compete for a catch yet, right? So, I mean, how are we feeling about it? Is it exciting? Are we like Nuck to the moon? Ronnie, you're shaking your head no. Tell me about it.
Well, I'm shaking my head no because like league winner, I sincerely doubt, especially what you just alluded to. What has been really successful in this offense so far has been yak plays, like Rashee Rice, that sort of thing. DeAndre Hopkins is probably 30% slower than he was when he came into the league, and he never was fast anyway, but he does have he used to have that weird ability to create yak. I'll never forget that one Deshaun Watson touchdown where DeAndre was going like 2 miles an hour and like juked 2 people and then made it 68 yards for a score. But this Chiefs offense, I'm not betting on any specific individual target on that team ever being like truly like a top 7 asset, top 10 asset at their position right now. So I would be hesitant on him being a weak winner. However, a lot of people are hurting for wide receivers that are doing anything at all right now, and he is absolutely going to be that. So for me, he's more of like a wide receiver 2-3 for the rest of the season with a little bit of upside. And if you're hurting, that could be a league winner if it's the piece you're missing. So I guess that technically could be it, but not like Puka Nacua last year and like things like that. He's not going to be that guy. Right?
So what do you think he's worth? That's the real question. What would you pay for him in, let's say, Dynasty PPR? What are you giving up for him? If you're contending and what are you giving up for him?
Maybe a third.
Okay. All right.
Maybe. I wouldn't really trade for him.
Yeah, the risk is just so far out there that 100%. I don't think anybody's going to meet you at that price. You know, like they're gonna see what they have is so much more than what I'd be willing to put in there for that risk. So I think if you had them, you lucked into it. You got something, maybe a good situation. You know, like you said, Ronnie, he's not necessarily that yard after the catch guy, but he's great in the red zone. Travis Kelce evidently is allergic. He doesn't want to be down there this year, so let's give it. Maybe D Hop can get it done.
I'm really pumped for like the Mahomes throwing it up in the corner and just seeing D Hop, come down with the football. At least, like, it's weird. Everybody's down on D Hop, but you got to realize he's been playing with Levis. Like with Levis, it's D Hop runs a route, Levis throws the ball, D Hop has to adjust his route 8 yards in another direction just to get where the ball is thrown. At least he'll now have a quarterback that can maybe place a football in an area where he can make a contested catch and not just, so I'm pumped about it. I like him. I don't know about league winner, but I think, whereas all season he's been really benchable, now all of a sudden he's
exactly.
And that's what you want. You want somebody that can, it's like Amari Cooper. Like Amari Cooper is just up and down, mediocre. Last week, first game with a touchdown. Everybody's like, okay. And that's, I think, the kind of production that we can see from Nuck. So pumped about that.
Could you imagine trying to tell like kids or new players like, yeah, DeAndre Hopkins used to be really good. Yeah, Deshaun Watson, he was the one throwing the ball to him. Like nobody would believe that if they're a new player, coming in here.
Deshaun Watson got too many massages.
And look, I'll tee it up for him. Tyler, what does this mean for Burks? Is it finally this? Is he coming?
No, because Burks is on IR, so it's not going to happen. In fact, it broke my heart. I dropped him in like 2 leagues last week, and I was really sad about it.
You still got him in Stam.
You're just not going to do it with Levis. I hope to the Lord that the Titans
too much mayonnaise in the
quarterback next year, and we are in a totally different realm. Although it probably won't be Burks there. So Nino Pena said, I just traded for Brees. Awesome. Good idea. The other day and didn't even realize I brought in the jet stack of Brees and Tay. I want to flip Devontae now. Okay. That's doable. Although I think that you can carry both those guys and be very successful. I mean, you saw in game one how much Rodgers was looking in Devontae's direction. And, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see him target in the red zone. We got that. So, I don't think you need to flip him. I think you need to keep him because Brees is running well and a wide receiver threat opens up the run game. I mean, if you can ride Gibbs and Montgomery in the same backfield, then you can definitely play Brees and Devontae in the same offense.
Well said.
And I would wait too. Like if you want to flip him, give it 2 weeks. Like Devontae hasn't revved up yet in that offense.
Exactly,
so wait until the week of your trade deadline and then explore that. For now, just sit tight.
Or unless you get one of those, 30, 40-point games from Devontae and everybody starts drooling over him,
Look, I'm with John Doe here, okay? Why is everyone down on Hopkins? Titans quarterback play has been awful. It's exactly what I said. He had 1,000 yards last year with a Mayo-eaten, inaccurate play in the quarterback,
Banana skin eaten as well.
Yeah, literally. And
text tape making.
You go to Nashville.
Wait, is the banana thing weird?
You go to Nashville, you see pictures of Will Levis, and he's like holding Hellman's mayonnaise, and everybody's like, "Yeah, that's our quarterback." And I'm like, "Oh my god."
Well, first of all, hold on. Like, let's talk Southeast here. Like, if it ain't Dukes, what are you doing?
Fair enough.
Not a sponsor. Not yet.
Right.
World of Jesus, start Olave or Dell this week. Who you going with, Brian?
I've got a problem. I want to go back to Dell. I know he was 0 for 4 last week, 0 points. But Indy, if there's anything I know about them, they make bad quarterbacks look good, except for Levis. If not this week, then win on Dell. So I guess this is kind of like my swan song for him. Dude, if you can turn out for me this week, you got your roster spot for another week. But if not here,
my projections have them at wide receiver 24 and wide receiver 25. So good question.
Right.
I'll take the quarterback then. Give me CJ.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I like Dell. He's still getting targets. He didn't catch a ball last week, but he still had 4 targets. Give me Indianapolis's D right now versus Atlanta's D right now. Oh, Chargers, Chargers D right now. So
Chargers defense been
and I'm a Saints fan, so there you go. Take that for what it is.
Yeah,
I think he was limited all week as well. He was, I believe, he was limited Wednesday, and then Thursday he finally had a full participation practice when it comes to Olave. So you take that for what it is as well.
Yeah, I would be comfortable flipping a coin too if you really can't decide. I'm being honest.
No, 100%.
If you've got a real 50-50 thing, go ask the experts, do your thing. If they say it's 50-50 too, just have some fun, flip a coin.
I'll tell you what I like to do too, is I like especially when it comes to wide receivers, I like going look at the Vegas line. Let me see what the over under is on both of them, and let me go the higher over under, and let's go.
Yeah,
let it ride.
Yeah. Love Tank Dell, but he got shot and broke his leg, so he's still recovering.
I saw a great meme today. It was so good. It said, it's bad when the healthiest wide receiver on the 49ers was shot in the chest 3 weeks ago.
I think I saw
the
same thing.
That's gold. That's solid gold.
At least Debo was just sick. It was broken.
Man, super bummed that Juwan Jennings is missing this week.
Right. Yeah. Dude has been eating this week. Oh, look. Was that a Vols plug? Just
Vols wide receivers are feasting right now in fantasy. They've kind of all popped out of the woodworks. It's a fun time for us.
So I wouldn't know. The last Georgia wide receiver, I'll go with AJ Green. That was halfway decent.
Right?
Yeah. He
140-yard game with Russell Wilson. Let's go, baby. Unlimited.
Yeah.
So I was going to go to the new question, but I have to. Last week on this show, I got 3-1 on if Russell Wilson can be a relevant quarterback.
Were you on an island?
I was on an island. And, you know,
Good for you, man.
I said, I was like, this game's going to be tough. Like the Jets are going to be tough for Russell Wilson's first game. But he did exactly what I wanted to see. He threw that nice touch pass, and Pickens did exactly what we know Pickens can do, and he made some good catches in traffic. So as I like that pair through the end of the season. I like this week I have to choose quarterback between I have to go find somebody. I got to choose between T-Law, Jared Goff, Russell Wilson. Well, Jared Goff got picked up, so he's out. Russell Wilson, some of the Sam Darnold, and I chose Russell Wilson, and I'm rolling. He's got the Giants
nothing
this
wrong
week.
with it, man.
I'm with it.
No.
He's a good quarterback. That's a self plug. You know this, Tyler. But
I
played
know
football with him as a kid. He is that dude. He's one of the most hardworking people in the NFL, and he's had the last 2 seasons. He was victim of one of the 3 worst coaching situations possible in the NFL, and he's still got a little juice. Definitely better than Justin Fields for sure. One last note on that. I know that Sean McVay just said, we're not going to trade Cooper Kupp. But I hadn't seen a lot of chatter about the Steelers potentially being interested. And when I did my predictive analysis on it, I came down to the Saints, the Bucks, and the Steelers. It was one of those 3 teams. So if Kupp gets moved though, and he goes to the Steelers, whoo.
I saw Vegas odds. Steelers were the highest on the one book that I had off ball.
Maybe I just haven't seen people's posts about it.
Well, that's one thing they don't have. I mean, they got Calvin Austin in the slot, but they got a good deep guy. They have a good slot guy.
Russell Wilson was a top 10 fantasy quarterback the first 9 straight years of his career. Talk about potential league winners.
To me. I was all over Sutton. I was all over Sutton 2 years ago, and he broke my heart with that.
Yeah,
I was
that
wasn't him. He literally took them through the Bills, through the Chiefs. Took the Broncos to win over 3 of the top 3 teams, and then they were like, "Hey, you need to waive your injury clause, or we're gonna bench you." Yeah. You know what I mean? What the heck? It's not like
I think he'd be a league winner if they trade for Kupp.
All right, so let me get to this question finally. Should I send Devontae for DK or Debo? I don't think that I'm doing either of those. I'd rather have Devontae over both of them personally, especially in that situation with the rapport that he's built. Debo's close underneath that, but like I said earlier, I think we're holding Devontae and Breece and just rolling with them frisky Jets. John Doe saying, Kyler will crush this week.
He did.
Miami only, please. I guess that's what.
I thought I read that as Kyron. I was like, yeah, he did crush this week.
Miami has gotten run down their throats. Nobody has reason to pass. Also played bad quarterbacks. Now, this is an interesting point and something for us to get to, and it's actually one of our questions. So we're going to pop over to fantasysportsadvice.com, and I'm going to bring a question up that really connects with this, and then we're going to dive into it, guys. Again, this show is brought to you by fantasysportsadvice.com, the only and best social media platform for fantasy sports only.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.
That's stupid troll every time.
So Corey said, with Bryce Young back at quarterback this week, are we sitting Deontay? Tough matchup. And then, this is not the right question. Hold on. Let me switch. Here we go. Greinberg saying, how are we feeling about the Dolphins this week? Hill, Waddle, and A-Chain back. Being auto starts for y'all, ? And that's really the question. Obviously this offense is going to look totally different. Tua is expected to be back. They have their full lineup back. Are we, following up on the question from our guy in the chat there. Let's see. Miami's gotten run down their throats. Talking about will Kyler crush this week? Will Arizona effectively be able to control the game with their offense? You know what I'm saying? Or with just running the ball with that kind of big time offensive potential coming from Miami.
Well, we're not going to ask Ronnie because he's clearly afraid to answer. So,
he ran away.
Needless to say, I'm ready. I'm ready to start my Dolphins. I'm putting them out there with no hesitation. Like it's time. It's
right.
time. If you didn't trade for them a couple of weeks ago, you missed your opportunity because these managers that have been holding on, we're not letting go.
Right. Here's one that I've got to juggle through this week. So I'm sitting there, I'm questioning. So what's the latest on DK? Is he healthy? Is he going to play this week?
Doubtful is what I saw.
That was the last thing I've seen as well. So would you play JSN with that? If DK doesn't play, would you play JSN or Waddle? Waddle? Okay.
I don't know. I think I'm on the other side of that train.
I'm just ready to play Waddle.
we got Matthias to say Tua looked like for 6 quarters. Sorry, I got to watch my language on the show. Barely beat the Jags. It's true. Tua looked rough, and one hit, and we could see no Tua, and then we're back to the barren wasteland that is the backup quarterback room for Miami. I do think Arizona has a good game. I think that James Conner has been running tough. I think that continues this week, and I think we also will get another one of those beautiful that everybody's hoping for and been waiting for the last 2 weeks, Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdowns. So I like Arizona this week. I'm playing James Conner in all my leagues that I have him in. But I also am with you, Brian. I'm a little excited for Miami. I would love for Tyreek to get one of those nice 60-yard bombs that we see. But it is, and it's an offense to do it, or a defense to do it. Like, it's not like Arizona has a killer, pass defense. So, we could see a decent offensive game, and that's the only thing that worries me. Which not really worries me for Arizona. I think it'll be even better for Kyler because we'll see more of a pass heavy or a moving offense instead of like a slow structured one. I think that'll be Arizona's fantasy.
Yeah, Arizona's 27th against quarterbacks and 25th against wide receivers. So we can do something better than Snoop Huntley and
Johnny Smith's going to score 3 touchdowns, and you guys
don't do that. I mean, that's going to happen.
Tootsie Pop, hey friends,
Tua doesn't throw the wide receiver. Tua's about to go.
Thanks for tuning in there. We got Tyler Owens coming in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Appreciate you. Hey fellas, long time, first time, half PPR, pick 3 for me. Mooney, Waddle, Lockett, Wandell. Who are you going? 3. There's an easy 2.
Mooney and Waddle. I think you got to pick between Lockett and Mr. Kentucky Wildcats. I'll leave Lockett's out for me.
This guy's crazy.
Is that with DK sitting?
That's it with DK sitting. Yeah.
This guy's smoking crack. Oh, I can't say that on air. I'm sorry. No. I need like sound bites. What do you think, Brian?
Look, I've been pretty upfront about it like that. I've got a bias with Wandale Robinson. I don't know why, but I haven't been able to like just say go play him at all, no matter what the matchup is. I know the targets are there, but just it's been so bad. Pittsburgh, the one place you can beat him as far as wide receivers, it's the slot. So maybe he does get to have that. So I think it's between Wandale and Lockett for me that is where I'm going to be sitting him. Again, Waddle. I'm so excited.
sit Wandale. It for me, like at that point, you guys, I love that you guys just went through that exercise. It's what I try to teach as many like newer fantasy players as I can when they're looking at like 3 or 4 players and like, oh, I got to start 2 of these guys. What do I do? Just go, like, don't even worry about it. First thing you do, go in and eliminate one of them from the equation.
Right.
Just make your life easier. And I would eliminate Wandale. It's simply he's got the worst matchup and worst quarterback play, X, Y, and Z. So is he starting 3 of those 4?
Yeah, 3 of those 4.
Oh, well, there you go. There's no more analysis needed. Sit Wandale.
Just cut him.
No, don't cut him. He's still a
Yeah.
target.
Well, I
Right.
guess I meant from the equation there.
Yeah.
Well, at least they are playing. At least Wandale is playing away this week. Apparently Danny Dimes can't throw a touchdown while he is playing at home. But I am one. If DK's out, I want Lockett. Lockett has not had a week since week 2 that he has been outside of double digits. Waddle has a great matchup with his quarterback back, and Mooney has been similar fashion. The thing about Wandale is Wandale goes up against Pittsburgh this week, and Danny Dimes, whatever you want to call him,
Pennies.
is not going to be able to handle that Steelers pass rush.
Yeah.
And I see probably I would be willing to bet at least 2 turnovers from him. And when you got, cornerbacks like they had, like they just got a killer defense. Like I don't want to put a less than quarterback and receiver up against, and I know the targets are there, but that defense is just too stout. I'm sitting Wandale. I'm rolling with the other 3.
And you got to think the Giants' offensive line is hurting right now, once again, with Andrew Thomas going out yet again. And I think that the odds are they're in talks with DJ Humphries right now to put him in a spot start. So that ought to be real good when TJ Watt's across from him.
Yeah, it's going to be nasty. Question. So you guys know the term RBF, right? Like resting bitch face?
Yeah.
So I've never seen somebody that has more of a confused resting face than Daniel Jones. He constantly looks like he's just perplexed by whatever he's looking at. So can we?
I thought Eli Manning, like Eli Manning.
No, Eli always
right?
just looks like there's not much going on between his ears, but he's not confused. Daniel Jones constantly is like all the time. So I want to see if we can come up with a new term, whether it's like resting Danny face or RDF, but for people that are just perpetually like in a moment of awe and confusion about what's going on around them.
God. All right, moving to the next one. All right, hey guys, I do not get why the Vikings do not use Addison more. He would be wide receiver 1 for many NFL teams. Okay, he has 23 targets, 14 catch, but then JJ has 60 targets, 40 catches. I get it. I get it. You see, somebody like Sam Darnold being like an efficient quarterback in the NFL. And, you have those ups and down weeks for Addison, and you're just like wanting him to be more consistent. I get the frustration. If you're a Vikings fan, I also get the frustration over that face mask no call last night. Like it happens. But,
it's the same reason Devonta Smith didn't light it up last week. The same reason Waddle doesn't blow up the scoreboard every single week. He's got a more talented wide receiver there, I don't know if Addison could hold up being a true 1 for another team. I think he'd be like a 1A, 1B, kind of like him and T. Higgins. They'd be a great, combined number 1, but I don't see necessarily either one of them.
I think T would be 1
solid.
over him.
Yeah,
I don't see neither one of them.
Disagree with Addison being able to be a 1 on any other team. He could not. Not right now.
Addison strikes me like as a 1, like he's more of like a Deontay Johnson type, right? Like where he's like almost there, but then when he gets his shot to be number 1, like he's really not it.
Right.
He's so close, but I mean, he's also so young. So, I mean, there's still a lot to look at, but this year, if you're counting on Addison to be a wide receiver 1, it's not going to happen. They're going to feed JJ. They're actually running the ball, and Aaron Father Time Jones isn't going anywhere, apparently.
Hey, whoa, slow down. We knock on wood, do something. We all know what happens when you start talking good about him. All right.
The biggest problem for Jordan Addison is he is playing next to what will go down as one of like the 5 best wide receivers to ever play football. And you're just not going to get the target share you want ever. in that situation from the secondary piece.
I mean, even like last night, man, he's coming up with catches in traffic, getting hammered, and still bringing it down. And I mean, I know one of those hits, dude. Cam Curl freaking rattled him, and
he's so much better at playing wide receiver than everyone else in the league. It reminds me of when Aaron Donald was kind of like revving up towards his peak at DT, and you're like, this is the guy. Like no one else comes close. Like JJ is that dude at wide receiver. It's crazy.
100%. And it's funny. It's like good wide receivers, good running backs, but it's like when somebody's touchdown dance, like that's when you've made it, because that's how my 7-year-old knows JJ. He's like, oh, the guy who does the gritty. I'm like, yeah. And my 7-year-old's also that random kid in the grocery store just doing the gritty. As he's walking through the booth. Kind of like, dude, chill out. There's no
spiking the pineapple in the produce section.
Well, he's transcended viewing into like a cultural thing. 100%. I work in a lower school, and the little like 4th and 5th graders will go play football every recess, and they all do the gritty when they score a touchdown. It's hilarious.
All right, so keep it rolling. We got some questions piling up. Tootsie Pop first saying,
Rachel,
hey, friends, thought I missed it. Glad to see you're still rocking it. Rachel, thanks for tuning in. She was on the show last week. Enjoyed having her. She said, would you rather roll with Sterling Shepard, Cedric Tillman, or Ricky Pearsall this week? What do you think?
We got to pick one here?
Oh. Golly, another one. Wide receiver 45 and wide receiver 47 for me is Tillman or Pearsall and Tillman. Sterling Shepard. I mean, he's still decent.
I was like,
receiver 51, but man, that's a good one.
We already know who you're going to go with, you Tennessee Vol fan. Come on.
No, I don't think you can. Because you saw, he had lots of targets, caught good balls last week, but that was from, DTR or what? Darian Thompson Robinson. Am I getting the acronym right?
Yeah.
But I'd want to roll with. God, I don't know. That's tough.
I think I'm playing Sterling as the floor play and Tillman as the ceiling play. Going up against Baltimore, you beat them on the outside. Tillman should be playing their X receiver, so I think that gives him a good opportunity there. Jameis is going to throw some picks, but he also has no problem throwing the jump ball down there, so I think you're looking for that. But if you just need a handful of points, I don't mind Sterling Shepard. Who knows who gets the slot? All three of those guys could get the slot position. I just think maybe the vet, maybe we have a little bit more reliability on him in the first game, and then long term it's going to be one of the other guys.
Yeah, I think my order would be, now that we know that Debo is most likely playing, I'd probably put Tillman as the one, and it's not balls bias. Pearsall at 2 and Shepard as my third option there.
I'm not far off from that. I will say this, and this is a free non-question answer to this question, kind of, not really, but the Buccaneers receiver that you want is Cade Otton. Just go ahead and prep yourself.
I got him in like a few
You want Cade Otton, and you're going to be really happy. I promise, because Baker's about to pepper that guy with targets. We saw it last week when, Evans went out, and then when Godwin, it was Otton. You might get a big play here or there from a Shepard or from a, McMillan, sure, but I'm telling you, your 10 catches a game guy is going to be Cade Otton.
Hey, shout out to 5 years ago when I was returning back into fantasy content. It was on one of my first podcasts back. I was on with JJ Winter and Craig Ruth and Jeff DiMatteo and Jordan Vanek. And I brought up Cade Otton as a rookie prospect. And they all were like, he's never going to be anything. What are you talking about? This guy is just an average tight end. And it's been the most vindicating thing the last 2 seasons, watching him kind of just pop in. Those guys are all fantastic. I just wanted to dig at them a little bit.
Right.
All right, so Matthias and back in. Barkley, Walker, or JT, who do I start at RB1, RB2, and at flex? I don't know that this question really needs an answer unless there's some kind of bonus to one of those. It sounds like all three are going in your lineup at all 3 spots.
Well, then I do Walker, Barkley, and JT at the flex. Since he's coming back from the injury, I'd put him in the flex.
Yeah.
As a Vikings fan, I don't see Addison as a 1. There's like 15 wide receivers that are true ones. I agree. Kells 22 says pick one. David Njoku, Jalen Warren, Roshan Johnson, Alec Pierce, Troy Franklin. I'm guessing this is a flex spot. Right now he's got Ferguson in. Is there somebody here that you're running with over Ferguson this week?
Alec Pierce had a hell of a good day against Houston.
I was looking at him, man. I was like, man, if you want to shoot for upside, that might
I'm not
be
telling
good.
anybody to do it, though.
It's like I want to, but I'm not putting that on me.
I'm just pointing out the stats. Though,
I know a guy who would suggest this.
I think I'm okay with Ferguson.
Yeah.
I think he's got the safest floor. Just in his matchup playing San Francisco. That's a doozy.
It's a tough one this week, and only because the Browns have Baltimore. If not, dude, like with a quarterback that's gonna throw it and likes to throw it up, likes to give his receivers opportunity. I like Njoku through them. I mean, this last week, would he have like 33 points or something like that in tight end premium? And I traded him away for Dalton Kincaid.
So I just did a quick dive into my spreadsheet, and Njoku's all the way up as a top 60 flex play for me this week. The rest of the guys are closer to like 100. And so if you really wanted to, that's according to the numbers that I look at, that's what I would do.
I love this. Kels, take Warren and trade it to someone who hasn't dropped Godwin yet. So when you show your friends your team, they can say, oh, no, you had Godwin.
That's pretty good.
Look, Matthiasen just started popping into the show. I appreciate you. Please like and sub, and we are glad to have you. Appreciate
he's been hanging out in the stream on Tuesday as well.
Let's see. So we got BTJ or Hopkins in half PPR, or I could drop Jennings and pick up Romeo off waivers. Thanks. I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not dropping Jennings.
Dropping Jennings if I needed to, but I'm not really. I mean, Jennings is going to be good with Ayuk out the rest of the season. But I think the question really is: are you going BTJ or Hopkins this week?
I would roll with BTJ. Just go with the thing that we've seen work so far. I always get a little freaked out about week 1 with wide receiver transfers in. This and that. So that's
49. 49 over under in that game too. Green Bay's gonna have no problem scoring, so we're gonna get, even if it's garbage time, it still scores the same. Yeah, I love the BTJ call.
So there it is, Jeremy. BTJ. Let's see.
Fellow Brian, of course. No bias.
All right. I'm not going to pretend that I know how to pronounce your name, but thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and sub. For week 8, Dak or Tua, I need 25 plus points because I'm playing against Lamar. Who is more likely to get you 25 plus?
Hold on.
Tell you, Matthiasen says Dak will throw more. Dolphins are willing to run the ball. What do we think?
I'd go with Tua.
Yeah, I think the safe play will be Dak, but the gamble is Tua. I think it's a higher return.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm rolling the dice. I'm going with Tua, I think. Or not with Tua, I'm sorry, with Dak. I was staring at the Dolphin stuff. I think I'm going with Dak. I like you said, a higher upside with that one, and that's usually where I'm going to lean because I don't think either one of them is going to burn you. So give me the guy with the higher upside.
Well, I know this. The Cowboys are playing San Francisco, and they're not going to beat San Francisco on the ground. They're going to have to do it in the air.
Yep.
Let's see here. Tyler Owens back in. I hear you, Ronnie, but my wide receiver room is epic. AJB, Debo, Mooney, Waddle, Wandale, Lockett. In my opinion, only one of my guys is a lock right now, and that's AJB.
I think Debo is too.
Yeah, Debo's going to be nuclear for a couple weeks here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the rest of the season.
Depending on the
Ayuk's
pneumonia
out
this
the year.
week. Like, we'll see how Debo's lungs are this week, but yeah, for the rest, Debo might be an actual league winner. We were talking about that earlier in the show. Like, that's a guy that might just dominate.
I like AJB. I like Debo. I said it earlier. My option after that would be Lockett, which apparently is not a consensus pick. But great wide receiver room. There could be. I mean, to have AJB and Debo lock it down,
You're probably auto starting AJB, Debo, and Waddle for most of the rest of the season.
For sure. And Mooney's got an amazing schedule rest of the season as well.
Yeah,
Really?
Mooney's kind of moving into the cup role in that system right now, so he could actually be like lots of staying power with Mooney right now.
100%.
So, Valon Fleming says, "Would you send Deontay for Pitts?" Lots of trade talk. Deontay,
Nope.
Are you sending him for Pitts?
No.
Now, Ronnie, I know you're in Atlanta.
Nah, man. Kyle Pitts, go look at his fantasy output, man. He's a relevant fantasy football tight end. Don't trade that away for some dude with no quarterback. Like, get out of here. No, not a chance.
Right.
Hey, Pitts has come up the last 3 weeks. He's been double digits, 85 yards, 60. Or sorry, no, I take that back. What was it? 88 yards, 70 yards, 65 yards on, average of 7 receptions. And one of the interesting things is like the average depth of target is in the teens. So, you're getting it. No touchdowns, but he's doing it without them, which is fine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just I can't like right now, like if I got one of those six or so tight ends that is actually doing stuff and looks like they're going to continue, I'm get
so
out
you're
of
definitely
here.
saying
Right.
The question is, should he send Deontay for Pitts? And you're saying yes, get Pitts. Pitts is the player.
Oh, I misread it. I'm sorry, I was being so mean.
I've gone back and forth twice because I kept reading it wrong.
I was like, hold on, no.
Yeah, sorry, valid. Heck yeah. Go send that off. Do it.
Do it. Do the trade.
Run it in.
He said a lot of decisions, so appreciate the second, third, fourth, and fifth opinions, my guys. Matthias and piping in. Let's see. Rolling through. Thoughts on Rachaad White rest of season?
I like him more now than I did at the beginning of the season. I mean, with Godwin down, we've got Mike Evans out for a while. Like, he's going to eat into targets, and that's really where his value has been in his fantasy career. So, yeah, I think he's probably, a borderline flex play most of the season with a decent amount of upside.
Yeah, especially in PPR. PPR, he might actually be like a consistent top 17 guy.
All right, so we're going to roll back over to fantasysportsadvice.com. We got a question from DomHam14. And if you're not on, go sign up fantasysportsadvice.com. It's free to join. You can drop your questions in here and you get tons of answers on those. Look, there's Brian in there answering one. Should I trade A.J. Brown for Jaden Reed and Hurts? My quarterback is Stroud. If I accepted the trade, my wide receiver room would be Chase, Reed, Waddle, and Deontay Johnson.
Nah.
Do we do the deal?
No, because I don't think the difference between Hurts and Stroud is worth sacrificing the difference between Reed and AJB.
100%.
Yeah, I'd rather try and send Deontay Johnson or Waddle and get AJ Brown and maybe something back, something smaller back with that. Because then if you can have Hurts and AJ Brown, I don't mind that.
If it's a super flex league, then yeah.
But now, would you do this? Would you tab like a Deontay and Stroud and ship that out for Hurts?
Yeah. I'd rather have Hurts over CJ.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
What about when Nico gets back?
He still didn't move. Like, he doesn't rush for me. I like my guys who run a little bit,
Yeah.
I guess that's fair.
The guys who, anytime they go down on the one, forget everybody else. It's just
grab my butt. Let's do this.
Yeah. And come on, do you not see the Colts stuff behind me? I like CJ's. I'm glad he's in the league. He's good for the league, but I can't root for him. I'm just not allowed.
That's awesome. Let's see here. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. Make sure you drop those questions in if you have anything else hanging out. Let's see. Let me go over here. All right, here we go. Popping up another one from fantasysportsadvice.com. Harry Wolf says, I'm 2-5. I need to win now. Need to win now because it's not going to happen for me later. Should I give away Gibbs and Brian Thomas Jr. for Jay Jettis and Najee?
Ooh.
Ah.
All right. Well, look. Let me just throw in the pariah in that quartet is Najee.
Yes.
But Najee in an Arthur Smith offense with a functional quarterback is actually a pretty decent play in fantasy football. We already saw it. He's going to get the volume, and that's really all that matters. So I don't know. I might pass on this one. I'm 50-50 on it and leave it up to you guys.
My issue is Najee. Like,
Yeah.
it's his schedule. I loved him drafting him, but I knew that I had to get rid of him in most of the leagues that I could. Not only does he play Kansas City in the championship game, so he's essentially out. Like, I'm not going to want to play him in that. And then before that, you've got Baltimore the week before. So essentially, you're not getting him for those two important weeks. He still has his bye to be played. He plays Cleveland. He plays Philly, Cincinnati's. That one's not as scary. Cleveland twice, I guess. Baltimore twice. I don't want Najee. I'm trying to offload him after 200-yard games back to back.
100%. Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, I mean Gibbs. The tough one is like Gibbs and Jay Jettis, right? Like JJ is going to be 20 points a week, easy. But Gibbs is also like 20 points a week, So that's the tough one. And I think if you ask me like, in a week-to-week basis, would I rather start BTJ in that Jag schedule versus Najee? I lean BTJ, and I feel like they're working Warren more into that offense.
Right.
So I do think that this deal is close. It's really close, but I think you probably roll with what you got because the only big upgrade that you're getting is JJ, but I don't know how much of an upgrade when you talk about position. Like rankings, he is over Gibbs because Gibbs is absolutely killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's looking at it from like just the way the usage with Gibbs and Montgomery. I know it hasn't shown that it makes a difference, but
doesn't matter.
My only counterpoint would be that in the end, often if there's an even enough trade for me, the deciding factor is what side.
That's why it's hard for me too. I'm with you. Like, yeah, if you can get Justin Jefferson, then I think it's great. But it's hard. Yeah, because of that Najee factor. Like, what other running backs does he have? Like, can you get any other back in there to make that happen?
All right, Louis Guan coming in. Mason or Dobbins this week? Who you rolling with?
Give me Mason. I love his lineup against Dallas. They can't stop the run. They can't run themselves. How are they going to stop it?
Dobbins has New Orleans this week.
Yeah, and New Orleans just let Javonte Williams look like old Javonte Williams.
J.K. Dobbins is RB7 for me this week.
So you're saying Dobbins then?
Yeah, not even. And Mason's banged up.
Yeah, he's still dealing with that shoulder.
He's got an ankle injury too.
Yeah.
I think that game, again, Dallas is going to have to pass. I think that they've got to throw the football. And so I'm hoping for scoring, and I feel like there's not going to be scoring.
You guys think that Kyle Shanahan, when he's signing free agents or drafting players, or just in general announcing the starting lineup, he should give all of them bubble wrap just as a nod because they're going to get hurt?
Yeah,
Hey, welcome to the team. 100%. You're going to get hurt at some point.
Yep.
Last year wasn't
something
that
in the
bad,
water. Like
last year, he had a great run. I think I think
and then Dre
of,
Greenlaw blew his leg out in the middle of the Super Bowl.
yeah,
and
but
lost
that
the
was
game
like
for him.
that was one player. You know, he had his receivers all season pretty much. Debo missed a couple games.
Bosa had a few weeks out.
McCaffrey was
So,
able to stay healthy most of the season. You know, which
Fred
is
usually has a few as well.
Yeah.
It was good. I think that it's a little bit tainted because before last year, he had Mike McDaniel, and you guys know my theory on Mike McDaniel's ability to keep a running back room healthy is non-existent. And it was always like they would go through 4 running backs a season in San Francisco, and then when Mike McDaniel leaves, you know, all of a sudden last year, everybody stays. CMC makes it a full season, you know, with a crazy workload, you know, and then here we go this year. And it's not, you know, it's not the running backs. Like Mason hasn't been that banged up for somebody carrying the workload he's carrying. It's been the receivers, you know, but it's been a crazy year for injuries anyways. Like, I'm sorry, fantasy players everywhere. Your team probably looks nothing like it did when you first drafted it. Welcome to
It never does.
So I remember seeing that there were more injuries by week 7 this year than any year prior. I feel like I had read
pretty
that.
wild.
Yeah, the fantasy the injury gods are on crack this year. They're out of their minds.
Right, 100%.
So the next question I'm going to pop up. It's crazy that this is a question, but it is, and it is actually relevant.
Patrick Mahomes?
Pollard or Chase Brown this week?
Chase Brown for me.
Isn't it wild we're talking about an RB1, right, for their team versus an RB2 who started the season as a spellback, right? Like, and we're vying on a who to start on these two. So you're leaning Chase Brown. Tell me a little bit about that, Brian.
Do you see who Pollard plays with? I mean, come on. I mean, you can just start there. We've already had our Levis rant, but like that alone just gives me no excitement. It's also Detroit. You know, you can't run on Detroit. I know Pollard's going to catch a few balls, but it's coming from Mason Rudolph, and he tried that last week against a lesser opponent. It didn't work. So I've got them all virtually back-to-back in my rankings, both like fringe RB2, RB3s. But when I have decisions like this, let me lean on the quarterback. Let me lean on the team. Let's go Bengals.
Yeah, and matchup. That's the only other thing I'd add to that.
100%.
Philly's actually a pretty decent running matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's a little bit less than with the kind of emergence in the Kobe Dean.
Yeah, my baby boy, he's finally doing it.
He's doing his thing. He's getting his start, and he's doing well with it.
Hashtag McCobean.
Yeah, been impressed there. But, you know, I think there's a lot of points scored in this game. Like, I don't know that Cincinnati can really stop Philly. So then it's a chase, right? Like, let's just try to hang in there. And so I think you have to go with Chase Brown as the receiving back there because I do see a lot of passing for the Bengals in that game.
Yeah, and Chase Brown also, I think he had 81 or 80% of rushing snaps the last 2 weeks. He's got 100% in one other category, and then really the only thing he's conceding is about 30% of the passing got work to Zach Moss. Chase Brown has taken over.
Right. Yeah, so the week 5 he got 33% snap share. Week 6 against the Giants he got 62. Last week he got 58. So he is getting the majority, but it's tight.
But that's 58, but it's because it was 81% rushing and like 38% passing.
Yeah, he had two targets for 2 receptions for 9 yards total.
It's so funny. Everyone thought that was like his thing preseason. I was like, oh, he might catch a lot of balls. Nope. He's their running back.
Thanks for the last 2. Appreciate you. Glad to help out. Last one, Hunter Henry or Laporta. Who you rolling with? Y'all just keep saying the music. Keep bringing the music.
I know it. I as soon as I said it in my head, I was like, here we go. I'm gonna set him off. But yeah, I think you got to roll with him. Drake seems to really enjoy throwing the ball to him. So I won't say his name, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
No, you could say it.
Suey or whatever it is that you
get. That Arkansas Razorback legend. You can talk about him. The one that threw that, that deep lateral to Alex Collins to, to get that first down against Ole Miss to go on to take that one. We all know who he is.
Yeah.
No, I tell you this, Hunter Henry is absolutely a talented tight end. Health has been an issue. Landing with the right quarterback has been an issue. But Drake May obviously likes him. Over the last 2 weeks with Drake May starting, you had, you had 5 targets, 3 receptions, 41 yards, and a touchdown. But last week against Jacksonville, you saw 9 targets, 8 receptions for 92 yards. Now he's got a tough matchup against the Jets coming up, but it's still
they're pretty susceptible to tight ends.
They are.
I don't know that I would call them a tough matchup. That's actually literally the reason I would go with Hunter Henry is because he has a better matchup than Laporta. And Laporta it's the running game's too effective. He's being utilized too much as a run benefit, as a supplement to the running game. He's not the number 1 target anymore. In the end, we all love Andrew Cooper, right? You go with the tight end who's a top 2 target on their team, always, right, if they're remotely close in rankings or projections. And that is, without question, Hunter Henry right now. He's one of 3 tight ends right now that looks like the number 1 target on their team.
Yeah. Henry and JT have been my only injuries this year. You are lucky, sir. I salute you.
Famous
the
last
elitist.
Words.
Right. You find some wood and knock on it.
Yeah. You know what? After the show, go place a random bet.
Right.
Go to the nearest casino and just hit the slots one time.
Right.
I'm gonna
throw it on the roulette board and just say your favorite number. And
I'm gonna do another Occupy Wall Street, but it's gonna be occupying in protest of all the people with healthy fantasy teams.
Well, look, we're going to wrap this thing up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Go follow these guys on Twitter, or check out their platforms. We'll see you next week, 9 o'clock Central Time from the forum. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We are out.
Go Vols, baby.
We are here. We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.
Nice.
We did it.
Well, that works.
Tyler, we still
Yo,
rolling?
Tyler, you seen this shit from Claude where you can get it to manage your computer for you now?
Trying to make sure this thing is ended.
I don't think we're ended. You want me to push the button?
Oh, my bad.